They had to abandon the ark somewhere in the house of Obed-Edom. And one day, they discovered that everybody in Obed-Edom's house had prospered. And King David called the whole community and said, look, let's go bring this ark back. My question is, what do you tell people to go and kill themselves? What do you tell people to put their lives on at stake for the assignments that you have created? That's leadership. If you don't have that capacity to convince people to put their lives on stake, it's your productivity will be hindered. While I was in Nigeria as a regional life underwriter, I was underwriting policies for 6 states, for Ebonyi, for Anambra, Imo State, for about 5, 6 states, including Delta. And my staff strength in my department was quite low. I had to find a way to communicate to them. The staff were actually working for me, not for the company, because of the way I spoke to them. They will close church on Sunday and come back to the office. On Saturdays, they will come to the office because we had targets to meet. So leadership is about communicating priorities and making your goals meaningful. Whether you like it or not, you are a living epistle. Whether you like it or not, your leadership style is influencing people. And it's important that you make it a conscious attempt. I'm still going to talk about the living epistle. But some things that I want to share with us today in the line of improving your leadership ability, some things that you're going to be getting from this session as Pastor Nee begins to speak to us. So these are the expectations you have today, that you will be able to improve your leadership by getting your ideas across confidently. And you will also have a better control of organizational politics and sway it with your improved speaking skills. Politics is everywhere, and politics is not evil. There's politics in church, there's politics in heaven, there's politics everywhere. And if you don't know how to sway the politics your way, how to sway the balance your way, you will lose out in a lot of things. So you need this speaking skills for your leadership influence to be able to grow and develop so that you can have more control over your environment and your workplace. You will also be learning to mobilize people, keep them connected to deliver results. People think that the job of a leader is to mobilize people. No, when you mobilize people, you have to be able to communicate why you have mobilized them. And then you have to be able to keep them connected till the end, till the result is produced. Pastor Nee is able to keep us connected here for 2-3 hours, 2-3 times a week. I mean, that's a skill. That's some skill. If you think that's not skill, go try it. Try to engage somebody for 2 hours and see if the person will keep listening till the end of 2 hours. So public skill is not genetic, it's a skill. I teach my children to swim because swimming is a life skill, just like walking, just like talking. Public speaking is also a life skill, just like walking, just like knowing your table manners. You should be able to know public speaking, not because you were born with it, not because you were born into a family of noisemakers, but because you have consciously learned the art of public speaking. Public speaking is actually more of an art than a science. Research shows that public speaking is a craft than it is a science. People have said a lot of things about public speaking, but a good leader with a good speaking skill is like a fish in water. So you can imagine a fish in water. I mean, the demonstration of its genius is amazing. The fish is able to get into the water and swim for hours without getting tired. The fish is able to navigate the waters so thoroughly, so amazingly, and so intelligently that you wonder what a miracle, what a wonder this is. But that same fish puts the fish outside water. You will be surprised at the level of frustration, at the level of stagnation, that even that genius that it used to navigate the waters will become hindered and will become mocked outside water. So think about this. The fish in water is fish. The fish outside water is fish. So it maintains the same ability, it maintains the same nature, it maintains the same capacities, but the environment changes the results. So your speaking skill has a way of creating an environment for your leadership. It creates an aura for your leadership, such that you are able to do some things with ease that other leaders are not able to do with ease. That's very important. And talking about the skill of speaking, it's an amazing statistics to see that more people are afraid of death than there are more people afraid of speaking in public. About 20.3% of American population have an active phobia for death. And this was by Chapman University in 2017. 20.3%. I mean, America is over 300 million people. So when you say 20.3%, that's a significant number. Afraid of death. But that is not significant compared to the 75% of the world's population that are afraid of speaking in public, or what you call glossophobia. And this was a research by Rosemary Black in the Psychology Communications Journal. That tells you that about 3 out of 4 people on the face of the earth have speech anxiety. And yet public speaking is just an act of organized oral content delivery. So this class is truly important, it's truly pertinent. Public speaking is just an act. You need to reduce it to what it is. It is just an act of organized oral content delivery. And yet, more than 75% of the world population has a phobia for public speaking. That tells you that you are special. That tells you that you are gaining a cutting edge that more than 75% of the world does not have by being in this class. So if you know anyone that should be here tonight, I think it's time for you to send out a reminder, or just remind them to join in, because what they are going to get tonight, 75% of the world population do not have it. And that's an amazing statistics to think about. And you can begin to ask yourself, actually, if they give you a microphone before a 5,000 crowd, a crowd of 5,000 people, what are you going to do? How are you going to perform? Are you going to underperform? You are a leader in your own cubicle. Leadership is basically about getting people, about sending out a message with your leadership style, the way you do things. And even if you're talking or not, irrespective of whether you're making verbal communication or oral communications, you are communicating. You are saying something. Your body language is saying something. So you must be conscious of the kind of messages you're passing, of the subliminal messages that you're passing across to people. You must make it a conscious attempt. And Richard Branson said that part of the most important part of public speaking is charisma. That charisma is the best part of is the best skill anybody can learn in life. So it doesn't matter how you speak, it doesn't matter your public speaking. If it doesn't come with charisma, you will lose out on a lot of things. In 2010, Pastor Nee sent me to First Bank Training School to train some middle-level managers on communication. And I knew I needed to create an aura. I knew I needed to create a different environment. So when I started teaching my class, it was so energetic that a church member who had joined church 2 weeks before I met him in that training saw me in that training and could not reconcile the fact that I was his pastor. And so during the break session, he told me that I look exactly like his pastor. And I said, no, which church is that? He told me the church, and I then introduced myself as a pastor to him, and he was shocked because the communication style was different. The environment was different. So with your communication, just like the example I said about the fish, you are able to change your environment. You're able to change the energy level around you. And you are communicating something whether you like it or not. So leadership is influencing people positively to follow you willingly. And that's very important. You must be influencing people positively to follow you willingly. When you influence people, they buy your ideas. where they buy your products, they buy your courses. I mean, look at what Pastor Nee is doing on this platform. Because of the influence, a lot of us are here on the business forum. A lot of us are going to the sanctum. A lot of us are moving because he's able to influence positively with his public speaking and his product selling. So you are not going to cash out. You're not going to smile to the bank if you don't understand public speaking and leadership influence. So when you influence people, they buy. If that is all you learned tonight, you've done well for yourself. When you influence people, they buy. So if you're not selling, you are not influencing right and you're not speaking right. And the first product people buy is you. And when people buy you, they invest in you. They invest in you. They employ you. They literally, when you influence people, they invest in everything that you do. That's when you can get people to make commitments in your destiny, make commitments in your business, in your career, in every single area. Communication, I went for an interview once. I had a friendly interview. The company I worked for before I left, I think I've shared that story with Pastor Nee. I met the regional manager once and I had a brief communication with him and it was an amazing session. And the day I was supposed to meet the AGM and the MD, I was busy. And the man called me on the phone and said, look, why are you not going for this meeting? I said, I'm busy and it's impromptu. I'm not looking for a job. And the man told me something. He said, I want to work with you. To prove to you I want to work with you, I will tell you the questions we will ask you and tell you the answer you will give. It was until he told me the question and told me the answer, then I made it to the interview. The reason is because I had communicated properly and he was willing to invest in me. So when you don't do that, people don't employ you, people don't, give you businesses, so you don't win investments. Communication levels the playing field. If you can speak well, you can outshine your evaluators. People actually evaluate you not based on what you do, but based on how you communicate what you do. Improving your public speaking helps you sell better, inspire people, and boost your career. I mean, that's an important thing to note there. I just want to give you some quotes on public speaking, and then we will end here. In Greek, the rhetoric is actually an art of winning the soul by discourse. An art of winning the soul by discourse. I mean, Jesus was a perfect public speaker. You can imagine what happened at the well with the woman of Samaria. He came with a style that was not convenient with the style the woman was used to. I mean, if you had 5 husbands and men give you everything you want, and then this man is coming from nowhere and saying you should now give him, that sounded odd to the woman. And immediately Jesus understood that the environment was different. And he brought a different communication style and said, look, if you know who is asking you for water, you will ask him. And the one he will give you, you will test no more. This woman has never heard this rhetoric before. She has never heard these powerful lines before. That what I have to give you, you will never need it again. And the woman said, wow, you are the best person I've ever heard in my life. It was Jesus' speaking skill that won the soul of this woman by discourse. So you need to know that you need to win the soul of your client, the soul of your customers by discourse. So practice makes good speakers. It's not genetic. You need to practice it. You need to repeat it. You need to keep them sharp. You need to sharpen it like a knife. Communication is the most important skill any leader can possess. Richard Branson said that, and I've said it before. And charismatic speaking beats acting on the job. That's from Forbes magazine. And I dare say that it is simply impossible to become the greatest leader without being a great communicator. I mean, think about people like the JF Kennedys, the Martin Luther Kings, in South Africa, the Desmond Tutu, the Julius Malema, the Nelson Mandela. Well, part of the problems Nigeria has today is that we don't have people who are able to speak and harass the crowd. People who are able to speak and move the audience to their direction. If we do, a lot of things will really change, in my opinion. But leadership, it is impossible to become not to become a leader, but to become a great leader without having great communication skills or without being a great communicator. In summary, today I I will say this, that communicating effectively and inspiring people makes people evaluate you better. Before I left Nigeria, somebody called me and introduced me to NNPC to do a pre-retirement training for them. And I developed a course and started. The first course I taught, the HR manager for NNPC was there, and those were staff that had between 1 to 5 years to retire. When I finished the course, you would think that I had planned my retirement 10 years before I came to speak to them. And they were so inspired. They wanted to read my book, and I didn't have any book on retirement because they wanted to invest in me. They felt that this was good. When I didn't have any book on retirement, they said, but which book did you read some of these things from? I said, well, there's a book I'm reading now by Dr. David Obueli, and it's called The Jewish Code. And these guys ordered for the books, sent my assistant to go get the books, 21 of them, without knowing that those books were written by my pastor. So Muslims bought a pastor's books because I had communicated and I inspired them effectively. So when you communicate well, you break the barriers of racism, you break the barrier of xenophobia, you break sectional barriers, you break social barriers with your communication. A leader without a good speaking skill is like a fish outside water. If you understand the thought process that people subject their decisions to, you will speak better to win the investment. It's important that you take note of that. And the degree of your leadership accomplishment is proportional to the degree of your speaking skills. Having said that, I want to welcome you to a new experience today, a new experience in leadership, influence, and public speaking. And I want to thank Pastor Nee one more time for this opportunity. And I want to tell every one of us that are here tonight that it doesn't matter how far you've gone in your communication skills and in your leadership influence, no matter what you have done, there is still more to do. There's still more to do. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. I truly, truly appreciate. Before I hand over to Tosin Babalola, I just have some announcements to make, and then we can proceed. The first announcement I have to make is that on Saturday, the 27th of September, we are going to be having, on Sunday, the 27th of September, we're going to be having a couple, Tomiwa and Oge Akinola from the UK. They are body modification and habit modification experts with lots of licensing. If you go on YouTube and Google Praise Beats or Body Praise, if you Google Body Praise, you will see some of their videos. Very intelligent couple, amazing couple. You will not regret that session. So I just want to invite everyone to that session on Sunday evening. And also I want to announce that I was recently appointed into the committee for the Business and Professional Forum, the Business and Professional Forum. So I was appointed to be part of the committee. And I thought that it was wise in view of the impact that is being served on this platform, on the platform of the Business and Professional Forum. I mean, till now, I can't forget the impact that was made by the lady that taught emotional intelligence. That lady is intelligent, and she's also emotionally intelligent. I mean, it's not easy for me to agree that people are intelligent, really, because I've seen a lot of intelligent people. So, but when I say that lady is intelligent, she truly is intelligent. And I mean, after that day, whatever I got was enough, was more than enough for the money I paid to be part of that forum. So considering the impact that is being made on that platform, I thought it wise to open up a negotiation with Pastor Nee Adesanya. You know, I also brought in the fact that when I met Pastor Nee, I was just coming out of school. I was in my final year. I had just finished my degree exam. I didn't have money at that time. But you know, although I had some things to offer at that time, but I didn't have money per se to offer at that time. We did a couple of things. we were able to do a youth summit, a youth conference, or a youth convention in the stadium in our final year. We brought Pastor Nee and some other people. But I just thought about it that what if somebody like me was there at that time who didn't have money or who didn't have the financial resources to deliver at that time? It wants to be part of this forum. And because of the $500, the person is not able to be part of it. The person is cut off. So I told Pastor Nee that, please, can we reduce this business professional forum to 100,000 naira, you know, to 50,000 naira, sorry, to 50,000 naira, which is $100 plus, you know, so that we can have more people. We can have people who are interested, who want to grow, who need a coach, who need a platform, who need a network system, a support system that may not necessarily have $500 to spend at the time. And graciously, Pastor Nee agreed, just like it is consistent, just as it is consistent with his character. He agreed to, you know, many of you think that it was Nee Adesanya, it was Etisalat that paid Nee Adesanya to go to the universities. He started going to the schools first before Etisalat saw what he was doing. That's important. That has been his habit, that has been his lifestyle, that has been his character. So as it is consistent with his character, he has agreed to bring down the price to 50,000 naira. I think we should put our hands together for Pastor Nee. Can we go to the comment section and just say thank you and tell him we appreciate? But one precursor to that is that every single one of us should now go out and invite people who we think should be part of this group. People who we think should be part of this group. So we need to go out and talk to them and make sure that we get as many people as possible involved in this group. So thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor Nee. Thank you for the discount. We sincerely appreciate. We will drive it and make sure that more people benefit from it. Thank you so much for the session. Let's welcome Tony. Please take back the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor Emmanuel. Thank you so much for the insightful and brief lecture on the same topic, Speak Well, Lead Well. I decided to hold on a little bit for others to join in before reading out the housekeeping rules. So if you're just joining us, this is Nee Adesanya Leadership Series. We hold this every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Nigeria time. Yes, we hold this at 7 p.m. Nigeria time, and always make it a date. Now, from what Pastor Emmanuel has said so far, I would encourage you to please send the link to all of your friends, associates, colleagues, relatives, people who you know are probably struggling with public speaking skills, and let them join in on this platform tonight, because we're going to be here at least for another 1 hour, 30 minutes, and it's going to be good value for their time and for their data. So a few housekeeping rules. Please set up your space properly for the purpose of tonight's lecture. We would appreciate if you can turn on your videos. We'd like to see your faces. We'd like to see you, because, I mean, communication becomes improved when, you know, we can see one another face to face, and it encourages the speaker. Also use the reactions in the chat room. Use your favorite emojis. We want you to be lavish and generous with them. The ones that will encourage the speaker, especially when you hear something that resonates with you, or something that you're hearing for the first time and you would like to take home with you. Please use your emojis in the chat section. Mute all microphones. You need to minimize the noise at your background. When you have something to say, you're going to be unmuted by the admin, and then you will also need to unmute yourself where you are. But ensure that your background noise is brought to the barest minimum. Make use of the raise hand button. There's an obstruction in the sound. I don't know if it's from my end, but I'll just go ahead. Please make use of the raise hand button. For those of us on PCs, you will find the raise hand icon just in the participant section. And I believe it's the same also for those who are viewing from their mobile phones, right? So when it's time for questions, contributions, and suggestions, make use of the raise hand. The admin is going to unmute you, and then we will hear what you have to say. Ensure you're dressed properly. If you're going live for any reason, if you're going to see your video, ensure that you're camera compliant. Do not eat while the session is going on. You can have a little sip of a drink here and there, but please let's minimize all distractions. Stay present, stay focused, and there is no better way to remain focused other than listening to Pastor Emmanuel this evening and just anticipating and waiting to hear what our facilitator is going to be discussing with us on the same topic. So I'll go right ahead to once again welcome you and read out the profile of our facilitator for tonight. Very briefly, I'd like you to know that Pastor Niyi Adesoyan is an award-winning performance strategist and management consultant. He's the CEO of Fifth Gear Plus. His professional experience has seen to the transformation of individuals and multinational companies and organizations, which has resulted in increased effectiveness and productivity. He is also a renowned author. He is an executive coach. He's a keynote speaker and an entrepreneur. He's a leadership development expert, of course, part of the reasons we're here. And he is also a member of the board of many and various companies. I call him a priestly king, and I'm going to be explaining that much later in the course of the class if I have the opportunity. But with all the joy and excitement that you have within you, with the use of your favorite emojis as well in the chat section and on this platform, please make welcome Pastor Niyi Adesoyan.
Don't worry, we'll have an opportunity to dance later. Can I have the platform? Thank you so much, guys, for holding for Tosin. Fantastic job tonight. Fantastic job. I like the way you held the platform. Everything good. And then Emmanuel, what else can I say? Ifeanyi, you are the man. You are the man. I really appreciate you. You made my work very easy. Now, going forward, if I tell people that Emmanuel or Femi are going to hold fort for me, because after a while I have to go on a vacation, you know. I can't be here all the time. I have to go for like 2-3 weeks. So once they hear Emmanuel and then they hear Femi, they should be comfortable enough to know that these guys will scatter the stage, just like you have done today. What else can I say? That say thank you for a fantastic job you've done today. I really appreciate you. And I want to say a big thank you for agreeing to be part of the committee. Thank you for agreeing to steer the business professional community for us. You come with a lot of experience, and I know that you've got what it takes. And moreover, the grace of God is heavy on you. So that's on its own, I celebrate. And we've come a long way. We've come a long way. You just told everybody how we met when you were still in the university. And I've seen progress and I've seen advancements. So thank you so much for agreeing to be the pivot of that community, because I can't do everything. I can't do everything. I need some people to be able to run it, hold it, and I thank you for that. And then there's some other people that will be joining in. So we'll now start on Sunday for those of us who are part of the community. If you're not part of the community, Emmanuel was able to bring down the price, the fee. And then the fee, like he's talked about, for 50,000 it's supposed to be for 90 days. We started the countdown already for 90 days. So it's no more 90 days, it's about 80 days now, or probably 80 days, yeah, 80 days, or less than 80 days. So the earlier you join, the better, because the things that we have in stock for you there, you don't even have the foggiest idea what it is. Now, for those of us who were around the first 2 sessions that we had, 3 sessions that we had, they already said they've already gotten the worth, their money worth. So by the time you already got your money worth for just 3 days, what will the remaining 87 days look like? And then thankfully also, Emmanuel also prevailed on me and then shared the profile of the couple that will be coming to speak to us on Sunday. And I looked at it, I said, wow, why not? This guy's a professional. These guys are experts in their field. And why not bring them in? Let them teach us on how to sustain our health, how to keep our health going. And it's so rare to get these guys, husband and wife together, to come on the platform. We must say a big thank you to Emmanuel for making that happen. And also, this is an opportunity for us to get in there. Now, let me tell you how the community will run. We'll be running a lot of programs that will be very, very expensive for people out there. But the people already in the community will enjoy most of those programs for free. We're planning something that we call the Game Changers Masterclass. Game Changers Masterclass. That is where I'm going to be teaching for those of us who want to even have a side hustle that you will be doing when it comes to public speaking, because very soon the doors will be open, the halls will be filled, the one-on-one interaction, the group meetings will start all over again. So you need to get yourself ready to be able to make some good bucks from that. We'll be teaching on that, the business side of public speaking, not just that. If you have a business that you want to run, we can also help you, give you some strategy on what you need to do to build, what you need to put in place. And not just that, even for your career, how do you make sure that you play politics? Yeah, I said that. How do you ensure you play politics with productivity and performance? How do you raise your performance game? Once you raise your performance game, then you can always play politics, because performance alone cannot get you to the top. It has to be a combination of both. So that's some of the things that we enjoy in the community. So you need to be there. By the time we unveil the masterclass is going to be nothing less than 100,000 naira. But guess what? Anybody who is already in the community gets to attend this for free. And not just attending for free, they can also market it. Everybody in the community now becomes an affiliate marketer. That's by choice though. So you can even make money from some of the programs. When you sell it, you have your own cut, you have your own commission, and they will unveil all of that in on Sunday as we go on in our meetings. But this is it. If you have not decided to be part of it, this is the time for you to do that. Just go to the chat room. I'm sure they're dropping a lot of comments in the chat room right now. The admin is telling you how to be part of it. It's a life-changing event and count community. You cannot afford to be left out. What you can do, pick up that phone, call them, or send a message to them, and then negotiate your way out. 50,000 naira, we brought it down from $500, which is 200,000 naira to 50,000 naira. And it's going to be for probably right now 75 days or so. So you have to take advantage of that. And look, you know what? You will even listen to the things that were done, the messages that were, the 3 sessions that we had before. I mean, the beginning of the community. You have access to those things, and then you listen to it over and over and over again. You don't want to be left out. Thursday is not enough. Saturday is not enough. Get deeper. Get deeper. Get to the deeper side of what Nia Desire has to offer. Get there. And this, thanks to Emmanuel, this has been made so easy. I wanted to put it at a very high price before because I just felt I'm satisfied with the number of people that came and have registered. So I wanted to just put it there and then ignore and then, just forget it. But Emmanuel prevailed and said we need to take care of some certain set of people. So you guys should say a thank you to Emmanuel for prevailing, and then we'll move on from there. So now, again, for those of you who are here, I know some of you are here who can afford to be with us in a co-hotel on the 9th and 10th of October, a co-hotel 9th and 10th of October. And this will be having Dr. Christopher Kolade, Professor Park Utomi, and guess what? We have a new addition to the team, because when we gather at the think tank, what we're trying to do is to build businesses that can last 50 to 100 years. All the people who are in the think tank are making money right now. They are cashing out, but that is not our aim. That is not our focus. You can cash out now, but in 10, 15, 20, 25 years, we used to be cashing out. So our goal is to make sure that a whole lot of people can still be relevant in 25 years, in 50 years, in 100 years. That is why we have tapped into these veterans and these titans to come around to teach us the things that they've done. Now, Dr. Christopher Kolade has been running people's businesses for over 50 to 60 years. Isn't that a man that can teach you on how to sustain your business for that long? Professor Patitomi has been in the corporate world for over 40 years. Isn't that the man that should come and teach us how to sustain our business for that long? And then not just that, whatever we do, we always encourage our participants to come with their spouses, whether male spouse or female spouse, come in there, because you can never build a business that will last 50 years without carrying the family along. So what we do is that we always have a session for the family. We always have a session for the family. So we thought about it, who will handle this for us? We needed somebody who's probably is a spouse, is doing good numbers, they're bringing in a lot of impact in their field, and they stand out in their field. And then how have you been able to manage this spouse, manage the home front, come and teach our spouses what to do and how to combine everything. And guess what? We were able to get my very good friend, Bolarinwa Akinlabi, the co-lead pastor of Elevation Church. Sweet spirit. I mean, she's got a sweet spirit. If there's anybody to talk to, the spouses, I think she's in a better position to do that. So she agreed to be with us, even with the fact that the church will be celebrating their 10th anniversary on that day. She agreed to be with us. So you'll be seeing our advert being thrown out every now and then. So guys, you can afford to miss it. If you can afford it, just go ahead and then go there. You know what? Even if you just put a call across, negotiate. But if you can make it, go there. How much is it? $2,000. $2,000. It's going to be Friday, 1 p.m. to Saturday. It was 1 p.m. Saturday before, but now we moved it to 3 p.m. Saturday. So it's going to be a time of stretching, a time of serious stretching, and you don't want to miss it. So get on board. So guys, what are we talking about today? You speak well, you lead well. Also, when you lead well, also you should speak well. I think Emmanuel said a lot of things about that. So this is it. No matter your impact, no matter your numbers, no matter what you're doing right now, that people are applauding you, they're celebrating you, no matter what that is. I don't know the numbers may be off the ceiling, you may have torn the roof and everything like that, but I can bet you this, you can take this to the bank. Once you improve on your public speaking, then you increase your impact by nothing less than 50%. That I can guarantee you. No matter where you are, if you're low, -1, or if you are 90% or 100% in your numbers, once you start doing stuff about your public speaking, you start improving it, you start upgrading it, I can bet you this. Take this to the bank. There will be an improvement, at least 50% on your numbers, on your, bottom line, there will be an improvement. Check it out. Anybody will straight. You may not see that in Nigeria here, but that's why people in Nigeria are not the richest. They're not the most outstanding people. But once you have somebody who is making an impact, that person is definitely communicating. You know, I was talking to somebody about this communication, and he was trying to tell me that even the leaders in Nigeria don't communicate. I say, you think so? They communicate to their base. Somebody, we're arguing about the president of Nigeria and everything. He doesn't even talk to us, but he talks to his base. His base is fired up. He has a crazy base in the north. That's why he's always believed that he will win any election. And before he became president, when he was in CPC? Yeah, CPC, his political party. You see when he was on the campaign field, you see those guys go crazy for him. There was something he was saying to them. There was something he was doing when it comes to communication and speaking in public. Nobody become outstandingly great consistently without knowing how to speak. Your leadership, your influence is cut short. It's more or less truncated if you do not know how to improve on your public speaking. Check out the Jeff Bezos. Check out the Mark Zuckerberg. Check out all those people. Check out Donald Trump. Check out, should I say Biden? Okay, Biden. Check out all those guys. Check out, there's this black guy also that became a president before Donald Trump. What's his name again? Okay, don't worry, you know him. Anyway, but check out all of them. Check out Bill Clinton. Check out all those guys. You realize that their progress, even Adolf Hitler, you will realize that their prowess when it comes to public speaking gave them more influence. I have seen my own my life drastically improve, drastically change, because I was able to master the stage. I was able to master the stage. I was able to master the microphone. And then also, in a way, I've been able to staff up my weakness. I don't like writing. I'm not very good when it comes to writing. But I've got books, and my books are influencing people around the world. What am I trying to say? You master the stage. You master the microphone. Your influence will be unpredictable. Will be unpredictable. The more you go upstage, the more you speak, the more of your product or your brand you move, especially if you speak well, especially if you speak well. If you speak well, then you will see the enormous results that will come out of it. Guys, don't forget, this is our book of the month, and I've not seen none of you order this yet. You need to order it, you need to buy it, you need to get it so that you can learn and know more about public speaking. Emmanuel already said that the fear of public speaking rates higher than the fear of death. People probably want to die that stand up in the public to speak. And I don't know how many of us have been in that situation where you get up stage, boom, and when you start, you get up stage and you say, wow, what am I going to say? And I always tell people, they sometimes, you do very well with a particular audiences, you're outstanding with them, and then you get to another part, because you feel those guys know more than you do. You know what happened? You begin to lose your effectiveness on stage. And that's what we're trying to correct today. And hopefully we'll be able to correct it next month, because this will still go on. When you talk about communication, it'll still go on next month. We have not done yet. So the first thing I want to say, because I know most people, they have this fear that when they get upstage, and that's why most people do not want to go and speak. What will I say? No. The fear of what the people, the way the people will react, has more or less incapacitated most of us on going on stage. Now let me tell you the psychology of stage and the psychology of mastering the stage or mastering the microphone. Look, anybody who gets up on stage, everybody who gets up on the stage, you know what happens? He has a psychological advantage over the guy who is sitting, because he that is on the stage is looking down on the one who is sitting, and the guy who is sitting is looking up to the guy who is speaking. So that on its own has given the guy a psychological advantage over the guy who is listening. That's why some people who are not as intelligent as you are, some people who don't even know 10% of what you know, but because they can communicate, or because they've mastered the stage and they've mastered the mic, they are assumed to know more than you. And somebody say, assumption is nothing, but you know what? This is as long as I believe that somebody is better than you, no matter what you think, that person is better than you. And if your check is in my world, I will give your check to that guy. So that's why we tell people, look, get up that stage, get up there and deliver what needs to be delivered. Somebody saying, oh, I want to get up the stage, but I'm scared, I'm frightened. That's one of the reasons why you need to get this book. Get it. And I guess once you get the book and they get your name down, I will send you the first chapter of the audio book, the first chapter the audio version of the first chapter of this book, so that you can read it, you can play it in your car, you can play it in your phone. It's one of the best audio book ever done in this part of the world, if not the whole world. So we'll send you the first chapter if you go for this book. And some of the things that we said here are tips on controlling nervousness. There's a lot here, and solution. The fear of failure is one of the reasons why people are afraid to speak. Excessive self-absorption is one of the reasons why people are afraid to speak. And then it shows up in your shaky leg, in your shaky hands. How do you handle the shaky legs? How do you handle the shaky hands? Your dry mouth, your pounding heart. How do you handle all those things? Those things are the reasons why people do not go up there. So what do we say? We say preparation, preparation, preparation. Before we even get into this aspect of preparation, not practice, before we even get to the point of practice, let's talk about preparation. First is this: if you want to speak, you're going on the stage, you need to clarify the objective of the speech. Now, what is the objective of the program? You need to discuss with your host or your host, the convener of the program, or the person who is inviting you. At the end of the day, what do you want to see happen to the people that will be at this program? What do you want to see happen to your staff that you're inviting me to talk to them? At the end of the day, what would you call result? What would you say, this is a good result? Now, once that has been cleared, then it gives you clarity on the kind of the path you're supposed to toe in delivering this speech. Many people don't bother about the objective. Many people don't bother about the reason for the gathering. Now, you must find that out. And I think we talked about that last week also. You must also understand the audience. Who are you going to be talking to? Where are they from? What is their demography? What educational backgrounds do they have? What part of the city are they living? Is it the right side or the wrong side of the city? You know, in Lagos, once you cross the sea or once you cross the ocean, you're either on the right side or the wrong side of the city. But don't mind them. There are so many people who are not even cannot even afford their daily living. They're living on the other side of the ocean. But you must find out who are these people that I'm going to be talking to. Why? How do they think? You know, we said something last week about the frame of reference. You can also get in the book. You must figure out the education, the experience, the exposure, and all those things are very, very important in calming you down. That's the beginning. Now, get the objective of the meeting. Is it to inform? Is it to entertain? Is it to inspire? Is it to persuade? Because you know what? When it comes to inspiring, the approach is different than to when it comes to persuasion. When it comes to entertaining, probably you are invited to be on a dinner program, and then you're on the dinner program. You know you can't be too serious when you're giving a speech at the dinner. People are eating, people want to dance, so you better be done with your excuse me. You better be done with whatever you're doing so that we can eat. We don't want too much time. That's why you have to bring your humorous side into the game. You have to bring your humorous side into the game. Sorry guys, I need some water. I need to get some water. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't worry from me. I'm okay. But get me water, guys. Okay, good. So once that is done, you've gotten that. Is it to inform? For instance, if you're training, it's to inform. If you're training, and then Emmanuel said something about the fact that he was invited to speak to people who are retiring from the workforce. So the objective is not just to inform, The objective is also to persuade them that retirement is going to be good. That is not an avenue to entertain, because these guys are wondering, how will I be after I leave work? So they are not ready for entertainment. They are only ready for information and then persuasion. And then you approach your stories, your anecdotes, your analogy, everything must be centered towards that information and persuasion. Very important for us to know this as we move on. So also, you must also try as much as possible to get yourself mentally prepared. Mentally prepared. Somebody go to the chat room and say mentally prepared. Mentally prepared, also spiritually prepared. There's a way, someone like me, I prepare whenever I'm going to give a speech, especially when I feel like it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. So what I do is that I mentally and spiritually prepare myself. I mentally and spiritually prepare myself. And how do? I do a lot of meditation. Sometimes I stay in the room and I don't talk to anybody. I remember 2005, one of my speeches, one of my breakthrough landmark speeches in my life, 2005, I was speaking at Chevron. I don't know what I've shared it with us here on the stage, but I'll just share it again for the sake of the people who are coming for the first time. So I was invited to Chevron to speak, and 24 hours before that, I had to mentally prepare myself. That's 2005. I had to mentally prepare myself because I was wondering, Chevron, the chairman over there, the chairman at that time was John Pryor, and it was, just imagine the chairman of Chevron. He must have gone to all the schools. He must have listened to almost all the speakers in his life. I mean, Chevron Nigeria, how do you beat that? What do you want to go and say there? So what I did was that for 24 hours, I was inside my house, inside my room. I didn't go out. I was trying to tune myself, prepare myself, put my mind in the state where it would not forget, mind in the state that it would not be frightened, my mind in the state that it would deliver the right words and get across to the people that are going to be seated there. So what did I do? I was more or less playing music. Now, guys, I like listening to worship music, and aside from worship music, I like two other guys, classical guys, Yanni and Kenny G. Sometimes when I don't get, when I've not even figured out what I'm going to say, when I play these two guys in any classical, very good worship song, forget about it. Something just starts popping up in my heart. And once it picks up in my heart, the rest is history, like they say, rest is history. So I was indoors for 24 hours, didn't see anybody, no, didn't go out. I was receiving guests, but I was preparing myself. Then I got there, I knew I was charged, turbo charged. And guess what? They gave me 30 minutes. My letter read 30 minutes. Before I went upstage, somebody came to meet me. Danny, can you do 15 minutes? Just like 2 minutes before going upstage, the MC came to meet me and told me, you know what? We don't have 15 minutes again. Can you do 10 minutes? You know, those things can be very, very discouraging sometimes. You're wondering, why did I even come? You guys should not have even told me not to come. But I was prepared. I was prepared, spiritually prepared. And then one thing I did also, I need to share this because this is not a place to hide anything. I brought God there. I brought God with me. How can you be 24 hours trying to tune your mind, worship song and everything, when dealing with God in your closet and you won't bring God to the stage? I brought God there. I spoke for 11 minutes. I spoke for 11 minutes because I told my guys to time me. And then when we were done, from there, I was flown to to Escobos, Port Harcourt, and Warri to give the same speech. My initial letter read Lagos, but I was flown to all these 3 other installations to go and talk to them. Why? Because the chairman said he needed everybody to hear the same thing. Now, that happened because I was preparing, tuning my mind through meditation, through worship. You must know what you need to do to get to that point. And that is why I will also implore you, go get the book quickly, because that puts your mind in that place. And aside that also, you also must realize that practice is key. Practice is key. As a matter of beginning, let me say, I'll just tell this, for those of us who are rookies, I would advise you to get yourself a standing mirror. A standing mirror. That standing mirror is your first audience. You have to talk to that standing mirror, unleash your speech to that standing mirror, let the standing mirror feel the brunt of your mistakes and all your grammatical errors. Let it feel it. That is your first audience. Get that standing mirror and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk to your standing mirror. After you're done with that, then you put your family members together and then unleash on them. Unleash on them. You know what I'm saying? Unleash, because sometimes they'll be wondering, why are we sitting here? You know, you have to force them to sit down. Listen to me. And then some of them will not pay attention. Once you're done, say, how did I just say you have done well? You have done well, just for you to let them go. But those are the next people you unleash. And you need to practice it and practice it and practice it every now and then, every day. I remember I gave a speech in my church in 1997. I did not speak again in that church until 1998. It was a disaster. 1997, it was a disaster. I've been speaking since 1993, but that was the first time I would get up stage. And it was an all night off stage. And then to make matters worse, I came after a guy that we call the Prince of the Pulpit. The guy has scattered the ground. The guy can quote about 70 scriptures without even looking at the Bible. He has finished, preaches like T.D. Jakes, he hoops and everything. And then I was put behind him to go and speak to people by 2 a.m. A rookie going to speak by 2 a.m. Man, I messed up big time. And then my punishment was that I did not even get the microphone again to do anything until 1998. But 1998, I practiced. I traveled to Ibadan about 45 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes from Lagos. I traveled to Ibadan and then I was practicing. I can't fail the second time. So I got back to Lagos, and that day was the last Wednesday in the year 1998. That was the beginning of the change altogether for me. But I practiced. I unleashed on my late mom. My mom was alive. I unleashed on her. I unleashed on all my siblings. Whether they like it or yes, they must listen to it. I unleashed on them. After that, and then I got back to the church. And then, can I confess my sins here? I had to hire some few people, not hire. I told my friends that you guys stay at the back now. So, anything I say, just be hailing. I say, yeah, preach it, man. So when I say this, I say, hey, preach it. Whoa, so we got on with that. So please know that practice is very, very important. Very, very important. And again, don't make perfection the rule. I made this mistake a lot of time at the beginning. I was making perfection the rule. I was trying to do it as perfect as the veterans. You can't do it as perfect as the veterans. Probably you can't even do it as perfect as me at this time. This is years of practice. This is years of making mistakes. I have mastered the stage. I know how to turn a bad situation around on stage. That is coming through experience. So you can't put me as your standard of performance. It's good you put me as an inspiration, But don't think you would do it exactly the same way I would do it. I made that mistake by trying to be like TD Jakes, but I goofed big time. I goofed big time. And then one day TD Jakes was talking and said, I've been doing this for 40, no, no, for 40 years or 30 or something years. And I told myself, when did you start now? I beg, relax. Don't kill yourself. I was with some people, was it on Monday? Yeah, I was with them on Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? And at the end of the day, the coordinator of the group sent me a text. He said, keep teaching. There is magic in your lips. Keep teaching. There is magic in your lips. Now, when you see that encouraging text message, it is not 1 week. It is almost 30 years of speaking that brought that magic in your lips. So please don't try to be like them, but don't compare yourself to them. And then also, one of the things that you need to do when you're going to make a speech, when you're going to give a speech, is that don't try and think about those bad experiences. Don't try and think about those bad experiences. Don't look at the bad experiences. Always focus on the good ones. There are bad ones and there are good ones. You want to keep the positive energy, not the negative energy. I remember when I was going to Chevron, there were some, a thought was coming. I had to deal with that thought. I can't allow it. I don't know what I've shared it with you here. There was a day I was giving an announcement in church and I made a mistake with a particular word. I was going to mention educationist, and I was doing educationalist. And then my friends that were sitting in front were trying to help me. They can't say it out. They were just moving their mouth. And probably people didn't hear the first time I made the mistake. But because I thought they were trying to help me, so I was trying to look at their lips. But rather than pronouncing the word very well, I was still pronouncing educationalist. It was a disaster. I felt like the earth or the stage should open up and swallow me up. But when I was going to Chevron to speak, 2005, the thought was coming. Those things, I had to deal with it. I had to, interpersonal skills. Deal with it deliberately. I was playing the ones that I did, the ones that I did, and people walked up to me. That was nice. Take this check, take that check. Those days when you preach in my church, those days, and then you do a fantastic job, you get a lot of checks. You don't even depend on your salary. When you do, boom, you see 15,000. Those days, 1999, you see 15,000 check, 5,000 check here, 20,000 check there. So on Monday morning, you're asking the accountant, oh boy, where are my checks now? I did a good job. So those were the pictures I was playing when I was going, in my mind when I was going to Chevron. I can't allow a negative picture or a negative vibe to be there, because it's very important for us to know that. Now, also make sure that you have prepared yourself intellectually. Make sure you study the topic, understand it, go deep. So when you are just starting out, and when they invite you to come and speak on a particular subject that you are not conversant with, please, it's better you say no for now. Or unless you know how to turn it around. Now, you can remind me to say, okay, how do we turn the topic around? I think I mentioned it one day here. Let me just go ahead and teach that. I mentioned that one day. Was it here? I don't remember. I can't remember. Let me just say. I was invited to speak at the Yoruba's Elders Retreat. You remember, that was 2007 or so. I can't remember now. And I was invited to speak there. And then my topic was entrepreneurship. And then, you know what? I was put side by side with Felicia Phillips, Mr. Felicia Phillips of Phillips Consulting. Now, I was given 15 minutes. Mr. Felicia Phillips was given 45 minutes. Yeah. See, you can see the setup. Someone said, if I'm going to go to the church and say they are setting you up, say set up, set up, set up, set up, set up. I mean, 45 minutes, I was given 15 minutes. And he had slides to show. They didn't tell me to come up with slides. And then to make matters worse, at least they should have allowed me to say all my gibberish and all my rubbish. And then they now invite him to come and correct everything I've said. But guess what they did? The organizer, they invited him first before I was invited to come up stage. God, who does that? First, we're talking about pollution experience. Secondly, you have 45 minutes, I have 15 minutes. Thirdly, he's speaking even before me. Fourth, he has a slide. I didn't even prepare any slide. God, who does this? But you know what I did? I didn't talk on entrepreneurship because he has already done a comprehensive work on entrepreneurship. How to start, how to end, why some entrepreneurs are not doing very well, blah, this and that. So what else do you want to say? They want to go there and start repeating it. They wonder who brought this small boy to this place. I know, remember, I was invited to talk to the Yoruba's elders retreat. My tribe, the elders that have been doing business before I was born. You know, when Fela says double wahala for the body, that's exactly the situation on that day. It was really, 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 really double wahala. So what did I do? I started with entrepreneurship. I ended it with mentoring because mentoring is a place I've studied very well. For me, was like, how did you move? I said, you know what? All the pleasantries and everything, entrepreneurship, and the reason why most of us, young people, are not doing very well with entrepreneurship because we don't have mentors. And I told them that what Chief Obafemi Awolowo did to you, you're not doing it to us. He gave you schools, free education. Where is our own free education? So I was not now talking about, what's it called? I was not talking about entrepreneurship again. I was talking about mentoring. And when I was done, man, you know what? That was when I received a lot of cards from some politicians. Some governors are my friends today because of that delivery of that day. There's a feedback coming up. You guys need to look at. We'll switch on their mic. So good. So that is how to maneuver from one topic to another. But for rookies, for starters, please, for starters, if you don't know the topic, don't accept it. After a while, you will be able to accept such, but you can accept it now. Hope that's clear, because you have to know the topic. The reason why most of us sometimes get fearful on stage is because we're not so good with the topic. We're not so good with the topic. Now, one of the things you can also do when you get up stage there to overcome nervousness is for you not to start your speech immediately. The most turbulent time on stage is the first 5 minutes. The most turbulent time on stage is the first 5 minutes. That is why you see even established veteran speakers don't go straight into their speech. They first start by pleasantries, acknowledging the convener, acknowledging the host, acknowledging the people who have spoken before. They will pick one or two things and elogize them and everything. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get you used to the stage. I call it stage acclimatizing with the stage. They want to get used to the stage. They want to get used to the people. Because if you start to speak immediately you get up there and you're nervous, you will forget. I mean, you will write some things down. You will write it down like this. You'll be looking at it, but you will not be able to see anything. You'll be shocked at yourself that you are seeing it, but you can't see it because nervousness is taking over you. So what we try to tell people is that the first 5 minutes or your first 5% of your speech or 10% of your speech should be used to talk about the last speaker, talk about the nugget, talk about all those things and everything before you go into your speech. Now, I know that there is autopilot when it comes to play. There is auto landing when it comes to play, but I'm not sure there is auto takeoff. When it comes to taking off, the pilot has to be there. He must be attentive and make sure that he flies that plane. After the plane has been cruising, then he can go sleep and put it on autopilot. And then the plane can also still do auto landing, but with caution. The pilot has to be awake even when they're doing auto landing. So that tells you something. If you're going to speak, stay in charge of the, stage and control. Your first 5 minutes is the most turbulent one. Now, let me also share this with you guys. It can work, but you have to be good at what you do before you can implement this. I beg you, don't do it until you're good. There's something we call count to 5 and win. Count to 5 and win. Now, once they invite you up, please welcome with us Nii Adesanya from Lagos. People will clap. Some people, because you're not the speaker they want to listen to, they won't even pay attention to the introduction. They know that somebody has been introduced, but they are gisting with their friends and probably getting busy with the pamphlet or the brochure. They are not paying attention to what is happening on the stage. I mean, it's not the A-list speaker. Who cares about it? You should just do whatever you want to do and get out. Let us wait for the speaker that we actually paid for. Now, if that is the case, when you get upstage there, you do what we call count to 5 and win. How does it work? You just 5 seconds without saying anything. Welcome, Nii Adesanya. Some people clap, some people not clap, some people are distracted, and then you count underneath your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what you've done? In that 5 seconds count, what will happen that the guy who's talking to his friend expects somebody to be talking on stage, but the person is not talking on stage. He's wondering. He would unconsciously be wondering that, look, there's something that's supposed to be happening there. Somebody's supposed to talk, but we can't hear anything. So they would look straight to the stage to see what is going wrong or what is happening there. We expect somebody to be talking, but the person is not talking. At that point, you have their attention. Now, this is where it becomes dicey and very dangerous. The next statement that comes out of your mouth will determine whether they go on back to their conversation or they stay with you. That's why I said before you decide to use this, you must be careful about the sentence that will come out of your mouth. Because once they give you that attention, albeit not willingly, but based on curiosity, and then you misplace it by giving them the wrong sentence, they'll go back to that discussion and you have lost them forever. You have lost them forever. That's why you have to come up with a mind-blowing sentence. I remember there was one I did in church. I'll tell you one I did in church and outside the church. I did one in church. And then when I got that, people looked up and the next thing that came out of my mouth was, what's the big deal with the miracles of Jesus? I mean, you're in church, you're saying that, what the H are you? What the F are you? What's the big deal with my Jesus? And I was going to compare, from that statement, I said, he raised the dead, even the dead bones of Elijah raised the dead. Who brought this boy to this stage? That's the next fight. Everybody is willing to fight you right now. And then you go on, it turned water to wine. Moses turned water to blood. He fed 5,000. Even Elisha fed 100 prophets. Are you serious? I mean, I was kind of challenging their Jesus. What's the big deal? Because of where I was going. And then the next thing I said was that he gave sight to the blind. Because I was going to talk about insight, vision, insight. Because there was no prophet that actually gave sight to the blind. But that's aside. And then next one, it comes to the corporate world, was when I was talking about, I was going to talk about, what's it called? Paying attention to your family. Paying attention to your family. But this is how I started. Statistics have it that 1 out of every 3 women will be abused in their lifetime. So just think about it. The 3 most important women in your life. Your mom, your wife, your sister, your daughter, any of those 3. Now, who amongst them will you volunteer to be abused before their lifetime is over? You don't want to put anybody there. No, how come you threaten my daughter? How come you threaten my mother? How come you threaten my wife? How come you threaten my sister? That's the reaction that is going on inside them. They don't know, but that is what you have found. You have ignited. So how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? And then you're telling them, you know what? If you give me your attention for the next 15, 20 minutes, I would share some statistics with you and some findings based on research that can protect your loved one from being abused in their lifetime. Now tell me, who's going to go out of the auditorium? Nobody's going to go anywhere. They're going to sit down there. They're going to tell the guy, you know what? Let's pay attention to this. Let's pay attention to this. So are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Get on the chat and tell we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Let me hear. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. We're good. I need to see more. I need to see more. I only see one person. We're good. Okay, I like that. Somebody say we're great. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. 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 Okay, good. Good. Fantastic, guys. So let's move on. That's not about the stage fright, but there's another one you can also do for you to control the stage fright. Breathing in and out, the breathing in and out technique. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Deep breath. Now, if you do that 3 times, you'll calm your nerves down. You calm your nerves down. And I always say this to people also, you exercise. If you're going to speak and you'll be sitting for 2 hours and you're just starting, please take a walk. Go somewhere, excuse yourself, go to the ladies, go to the gents. Go and stretch yourself before your time. I'm coming up in the next 10 minutes. Okay, you go out. Because when you sit too long, you're becoming too relaxed. So when you get upstage, it's going to affect your production. It's going to affect your delivery immediately. So what you do is to excuse yourself 10 minutes before the time, go to the washroom and go stretch yourself. Go do some very little exercise or just jump so that there can be enough blood flow into your brain. When you get up there, you know what you have activated your energy level, and then when you get up there, we'll feel the energy. We will feel the energy. Some of us can feel energy. That's why when I coach people on public speaking, and those of you who've been in my class or something, my coaching, you know, sometimes somebody's not talking very well. I say, go down the stairs, go up, down, go up, down, go up, down. Yeah, come and say the same thing. And then the person comes with a lot of energy and then the acceptance level is mind-blowing because this person has gone to work on their energy level. Don't just go up stage after you've sat down for 1 or 2 hours. If you're just a beginner, go and stretch yourself and get up stage. That's why you see speakers, they come in at the time, 10, 15 minutes to the time when they're going to speak, because they know that they can't sit down for too long. And if they're sitting down, they're at the backstage trying to work on themselves and get up stage, because you have to come up stage heavy and strong, heavy and strong. So good. I think that's cool. I'm taking for too long. Oh, we have 30 minutes more to run this. I was going to teach on how to prepare your speech. You know, sometimes the problem we have is that we don't know what to say. We don't know what to say. I don't have enough content. But let me say this, you need to write this down. You need to write down 2 things. I call them the laws of public speaking. Number 1, your audience is more important than your speech. Your audience is more important than your speech. You need to write that down. Someone needs to type that for me there. I don't know how you write it down, or type it there on the chat room for them. Your audience more important than your speech. Now, what that means is that if you're preparing your speech and you see your audience that they cannot assimilate what you have prepared, what you do is to scale down on what you have prepared, because the audience are more important than the speech. Once you understand this, you don't talk down on your audience. You give them enough respect whenever you go to meet them. The audience are more important, is more important than the speech. Number 2, delivery is more powerful than content. Yeah. Delivery is more powerful than content. In the IT world, content is king. But in the public speaking world, content is queen. Delivery is king. So that's why you must understand how to pep up your confidence level. Because sometimes I don't know as much as you do, but because of my confidence level, I will fool you to think I know more than I do know. Confidence, your delivery is king, more important than content. Now remember, I didn't take content out of the palace. Content is still in the palace, but you can know so much. If you do not deliver it well, it is assumed you don't know. And the guy who doesn't know as much as you do, because he has done a fantastic delivery, forget about it. You just think he's the boss. You just think he's he's just that. You know, like I said, I was speaking somewhere before we went to Dubai. I was speaking somewhere, and the fee for the Dubai program was $1 million, $3,000 then. $3,000. And I just finished speaking. It was 1 week to Dubai, or 1 or 2 weeks to Dubai. After I was done speaking, the guy came to meet me. I want to go to Dubai. I said, it's $3,000. He said, I will pay you. And then he paid, and he was in Dubai in 2 weeks. Can you imagine? You can see what the power of public speaking can do. You finish speaking, and people are joining the train to Dubai. And guess what? I wasn't talking on public speaking. I was teaching on leadership. People just want to buy. People just want to get involved. People just, because you're the star of the movement. So you have to realize that content is important, but delivery is more important. Delivery is more important. And then how do you raise your delivery capacity? Simple. Raise your confidence level. Raise your confidence level. Raise it. Once you can raise it, then you're good to go. In this book, I don't know the page right now. Let me see if I can fit it out. So I'll stop right here today. And then probably next week is actually October 1st, Nigerians Independence. It will be 60 next week, Thursday. So I'm kind of bereaved of ideas. So you guys, you can chat me up probably later and give me some ideas what we can do next Thursday. But after that, then we'll continue. Probably I will now come and teach on on how you can structure your speech, how you can start it, what you need to put into it, how you can get more content. And then today let us talk about delivery. Then next week or week after, depends on what we do on Independence Day, we'll talk about how do you get content for your speech. Now, all the system teaching, you get the better version of it when you go to our online school. Our online school will drop it down to 25,000 online school. You can get there. And for those of us who are members of the community, you can get it for 15,000 naira. Like I promised in the community, not too long from now, I'm going to be teaching on how you can make money from public speaking. I'm going to be teaching how you can do that. Make money from public speaking. Yeah, I love the sound of that baby anyways. I love the sound. I wish they could leave that baby there talking to me. But anyway, let's move on. Now, I would not long from now in the community, I'll be teaching them how to make money from public speaking, how you can make some good bucks. Now in Nigeria, I think I can boldly say that I am the highest paid speaker in Nigeria and highest paid coach in Nigeria. Yeah, well, you can coach me on that. Now, let's quickly talk about delivery, confidence. 5 things you need to do. 5 pillars of confidence. Number 1, your psychology. Number 2, your intellect. Number 3, your philosophy. And number 4, your spirituality and then your physique. Now, in this book, it has been dealt with and what you need to do to improve on each. But you know what? The most important one here is your psychology. Your psychology. You must know how to talk to yourself. Intrapersonal skills and interpersonal skills. Most people don't realize that anything, whether speaking or not, is speaking against you most of the time. And then you must be loud enough for the situation to hear you. You must talk to yourself. You must, I think I mentioned that when it comes to self-esteem, there are 2 kinds. You have the chronic low self-esteem and the situational low self-esteem. Situational is that in Nigeria, I'm confident. Outside Nigeria, I just don't know where this thing has gone to. And then you're wondering what happened. And the chronic one is that low esteem, low self-esteem is there everywhere. But how do you deal with that? There's something called the pathological critic. That's a voice that comes against you, tells you you're not worthy, tells you you're not up to it, tells you nobody in your family has ever been great, tells you a lot of things based on the things that you've heard when you were growing up. We are nobody. Our family is inferior, and this and that. Those things stay with you, and it forms the pathological critic in your life. So your job is to be able to silence that voice. First, you name that voice, give it a name. You can call it stupid. Stupid is talking to me right now. And then name it. Once you name it, then you talk it down. You talk it down by introducing your own words of affirmation over and over and over and over and over again until you silence that. That is what we call the intrapersonal skills. And then sometimes you need to say those words out so that you can hear it and then talk to yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I think I did this to myself when I had a speech 2010, one of the mind-blowing speeches I've ever had in my life. You know, I have landmark speeches like that turn things around. And then this in 2010 was the first time I encountered the brand Etisalat, which is now 9Mobile in Nigeria. And then I was speaking there for the first time. Now, I have already spoken to myself over and over and again, looking at the mirror, telling myself, you're great, me. I'm gonna get some heavy stuff from you today. I have to talk to myself because it was a big, major speaking event for me. Because there in my mind, I was high in there. I was already been to the university. I want more. I want to go there and I want these guys to sponsor my trip to all the universities. But I didn't go there giving them the proposal. I know my delivery will make them ask for more. So I was talking to myself in the hotel room, raising my confidence level, not about the content, because actually, what new thing do you want to really say that somebody doesn't even know before? But it's actually the way you say that actually matters. So I was talking to myself, When I got there, And lo and behold, it was almost going to be a disaster because I was introduced and I was called handsome, 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 handsome. I'm handsome, guys. I know I'm handsome. But somehow, the people on the deck, participants didn't even believe that this guy is handsome because I was sitting at the back and they were clapping. And as I was walking down the hall to get to the stage, the applause was greatly reduced. I was wondering why, but I knew why, because the MC was saying handsome, handsome, handsome young man from Lagos, but who they saw wasn't as handsome as described, which is okay. When I got off stage, I don't need them to affirm me. I don't need them to boost my esteem. It's called self-esteem, not people esteem. It is called self-esteem, not people esteem. So I was ready. I was ready because I had already esteemed myself. I'd already psyched up myself. I'd already spoken to myself. Your psychology raises your confidence. Now, the next one there is your intellect. Your intellect. In other words, you must have done a study on the subject. Whatever they've called you to come and talk about, you must know it inside out. After you've done your study very well, then you're good to go. You're ready to hit the road running. Then the third one is your philosophy, your reason for living. Now, your philosophy helps you a great deal. And it also even helps your psychology because you're not judging yourself based on the material things that you have. Because by the time you're judging yourself based on the material things that you have, the day you meet somebody who has bigger machine or bigger houses than you have, you will feel inferior to them. And that's why your philosophy is very important. You are not judging yourself based on what you have, you're judging yourself based on the assignment that you have been given, what you're supposed to get done. So once you have that at the back of your mind, so it doesn't matter whether you have PhD, or it doesn't matter whether you're a professor, it doesn't matter whether you have houses in Banana Island or Maitama or Beverly Hills, it does not matter. The most important thing is that I've been called to do this job and I'm going to do it, and my reason for living surpasses every other material thing. Once you have that, that saves you and delivers you from self-judgment. Once you can take self-judgment away, boom, you're ready to fly. You're ready to fly. Then you talk about what's called your spirituality. It's very important. I told you when I was going to Chevron, I spent 24 hours in the presence of God. You must know your God. The Bible says those that know their God shall be strong and they shall do exploit. They shall be strong and they shall do exploit. And then the last one is your physique. Physique talks about your dressing, talks about everything. Now let me say this. The first four things I mentioned should be the source of your confidence. While the last one about your physique, about your dressing, should be confidence booster, not the source. It should boost your confidence, not be the source. A good car is good, but a good car should boost your confidence. Very important for me to say this, because formerly I would have told you, no, it doesn't do anything. I remember it does a lot, because there was a time I was driving a Honda Civic. I used to tell people, no, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter until I bought a Benz. The first day I drove that Benz, 450 GL 450 format. I drove that Benz for the first time. When I came outside of the Benz, now when I got down, I wasn't walking on the ground. I'm telling you. Everybody was seeing me walking on the ground, but inside me, I was not walking, I was floating. The kind of feeling that I had was different, man. It was different. So all those things can boost, but they should not be your source. Because the day somebody brings in a Maybach and then you have a Formatic, you feel that you're inferior to them. And then when they're sitting in front of the stage, you realize that you can't even make a complete sentence. So it's good for us to note that. And then I think I will stop there tonight. I've spoken too much tonight. And I was wondering, I think when I was talking to Manuel this evening, I said, I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to write all these things down. And I'm not even done the second part of what I want to say tonight. We'll put that to some other day, and then we'll talk more about how do you structure your speech. Because actually, this is the real thing. This is the real deal. You get there, you talk. Even to your staff, you must be able to communicate effectively. You must be able to motivate them. You must be able to charge them up. Because without any charging, there will be no sales. And if there's no sales, there's no marketing, there's no sales, there is no business. And Dr. Christopher Kolade said, the reason why you're in business is to be in business. Is to stay in business. So good. And I hope this has helped to us so far. And don't worry, we'll get to talk more about this. So I would encourage you. I will encourage you to get on our online school. You'll have an opportunity to sit down with a lot of facilitators and then get yourself ready. Once you get to the online school, get into the business professional community. Get in there. We'll be dropping some things that are heavy. Number one, I want to shake my industry because I believe nobody can teach people how to speak better than me in this part of the world. Nobody. I've got it. I coach you well. I teach you well. Nobody. Not in this part of the world. Probably also, but not in this part of the world. So get on the online school. Enroll. We'll cut down the price, 25,000 from 55,000. And then if you're in the community, now, thankfully to the coordinator, that's Emmanuel of the community, he was able to drop the price from 200 to 50,000 naira, which is about a little over $100. You can be there. On Sunday, we're going to have some fantastic guests. You don't want to miss it. So guys, make sure you get into the online school, you get all those things. Deal with this thing before we start talking about how to make money, how to turn people's heads, how to make people tear their clothes when they are listening to you, how to make people jump on the table. That's a different dimension. But get the rudiments. And the rudiment is going there to even learn all the basics about public speaking in the school. Once you're done with that, then we can move more heavy objects, heavy matters when we get to the, community, professional community. Thank you guys. I will be waiting for questions. And if you don't have none, I will be pleased to say good night. It will be pleased to say good night. Tosi, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. So right about now, we're going to be taking questions, and I think we have one hand up already. That is in the person of Friday Chikwado. But before we take his answer, remember I said something earlier that I call Pastor Nia Adesanya a priestly king, and he has spoken it already. Remember that time he said he gave a lecture at a certain place and he brought God into the place. So what priestly kings do, they are people who reign in the public space, the secular world, right? And they take that God factor into the marketplace. And that is what Pastor Nia Adesanya is known for, because you don't have to attach the pastor as a title to their name, right? But by reason of what they deliver in the market place, you know that they are backed up by, you know, some sort of power, because the words that they release actually really come with power and come with life. They bring transforming effect to the lives of people. So they are priestly kings because they reign as kings, but they have a priestly backing. So that's what I call him, and he has proven himself to be that over and over and over again. It's been a wonderful time tonight. You're welcome, sir. I'm sure that you have been able to take one or two things. I'm speaking to the participants now. And for those of us who have questions, all you need to do is raise your hand, go to the participants section and tap on that icon, raise hand. Once I see your hand, I will unmute you, and you will also need to unmute yourself over there. So we'll go right ahead and take Chikwado Friday. If you are not camera compliant, please, you can send your question, right, by typing it or sending it privately to me. We will also take it. Chikwado, please unmute yourself.
Well, good evening, ma. I'm already unmuted. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, the floor is yours.
Hello, good evening, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you to Mr. Nee. Thank you very much, Pastor Nee. I've been richly blessed, like I said. This has been, I actually could relate to today's topic. That's I speak a lot to young people. I run a little consultancy firm. Now, I have a situation on ground. I actually work with an organization where I'm a supervisor, and then I came up with a training program. I actually proposed it to my management and they approved it. Now, this is a training I've never done before, but I actually saw the need for it to be done, and now I have the approval. Now, what I'm asking to Mr. Neil, like when he said, if you are not prepared, you shouldn't go for it. Not like I'm not prepared. I actually know I can deliver on those topics, but I'm having issues with preparing slides. I'm not actually good with saying. Should I go on speaking to them without slides, or should I just let it lie low? So I need your advice, please. So I don't.
How many hours is the training? How many hours is the training? How many hours?
It's a 1 hour training, 45 minutes training, and then 15 minutes for questions. We would like to know the topics.
You know, you can get away with it. You can get away with it without giving them slides if it's 45 minutes. But if it's 2 days, it's a no-no. But what's the topic?
The topic is on managing pressure at workplace, and then building a healthy customer service relationship. That's for 2 days.
Okay.
Managing pressure at workplace.
But it'd be nice if you can show them some slides. Be nice to show them some.
I'm actually on that. I'm actually on the slide, but then I
know somebody who can help you if you don't mind. And I'll
appreciate that.
Privately chat up with you. You can coach you on the slide thing. They'll privately chat up with you and they'll give you a name. His name is Samuel Ubeda. He'll privately chat with you, so you talk to him. It may cost you some few amount, but at least you would know how to make PowerPoint presentations. So
that would
privately chat you and give you his number. No, why not? Why privately chat? I don't think it should even be privately chat. Just start to everybody, so that anybody wants to what's it called? The coach on how to make presentation, the slides, can just call him, and then he will organize it with you. But it's not free, so. At the point in time, his brother was the one doing my doing my slides. His brother left me, started working with me. He was the one handling my slides, and fantastic young guy. So you can call him up and get some things done. So good. So fantastic.
We have another question now.
So the trend is holding on.
I didn't get that.
Mr. Friday, are you there?
Yes. No, I said I'm done, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, good. You should get into our community. Yeah,
I'm working on that, sir. I'm actually trying to. I've been asking them for the link so I could join.
Yeah, they'll send the link to you. Quickly join. There's so much you gain from that. You must do that.
I'm just saying.
Okay, good, fantastic. Tosi, over to you.
Yes, sir. David Asanga's hand is on. David, your mic is unmuted. You can unmute yourself now. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, so mine is not a question. I just want to appreciate Pastor Nee. You have been so wonderful. And each day I'm just thinking how I'm going to bring you here because I know it's going to be possible. I'm working seriously, sir, very seriously. For you to come.
I've become expensive these days now.
There's no problem. There's no problem.
Don't mind me.
You made us to be like you said we should be like the crocodile, so we are taking after you. So yeah, so there's no problem, sir. You will come down here. So I'm working towards it, sir. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, thank you, David. For those of us who will still have to send in questions. We're waiting. And in the meantime, I'd like you to take note of the following social media handles so that you can get in touch or follow Pastor Niyi Adesoya on social media, especially on Instagram, N Adesoya on Instagram, N Adesoya. On Facebook and Twitter, the same handle, N Adesoya. Now, for those who are YouTube lovers, he also has a channel on YouTube if you're interested in seeing some of the previous videos. But of course, you can make requests for the digital library. That is a paid platform, and you can get to view and watch most of our previous Zoom sessions on this leadership series. So go ahead, follow all of these handles, send in your requests, for the digital library, and also be a part of all the sessions that are going to hold in the next couple of days and weeks. Do we still have any more hands, any more questions? In the chat area, I'm not sure we have any question right now. But sir, there were the last list that you called out, someone was asking for the 5 points on the list. I got only 3 myself, or I got 4.
What are the 4 that you got?
Psychology, yeah, the philosophy, the pathology, and spirituality.
There is psychology, philosophy, intellect, spirituality, and physique. The physique is where I put in the material things, the clothes, the makeups, the lipsticks. That's what the first one is all about, physique.
Okay, I might be guilty of that right now. We have a question on the chat section. It looks like I just lost it now. Someone's asking about presentation on Zoom.
Yeah, question for a presentation on Zoom for 15 minutes. What are the tips? What are the tips? What are the tips? Well, definitely all the tips that Tosin rolled out before. Be careful that you know it. Make sure that you get good light, and then make sure your points are together. And again, you must make people chat you up because they cannot respond to you on talking back at you because everybody's microphones will be mute. So what you do immediately is to let them chat you up. You can see me say, okay, you know what, go on the chat room. Let me see, say we're together. Say we're here. Give me the emoji for fire. You know what, pump it up, all those things. So that's where you get to engage the people, because when it comes to online stuff like this, it's always good to know whether people are still listening to you or not. And it's also very good that you can see the people that you're talking to. It's better with Zoom. All other platforms, sometimes you only see yourself, and then once you see yourself, you feel that people even listening to me, but you should know that people are already listening to you. But you do the gallery view on Zoom. When you do the gallery view on Zoom, you see a whole lot of pictures right in front of you. But for me, right here, what I have, that's why you see me looking up and everything. I have a studio. I just hope they can activate that right now. I have a studio. Can you please just okay? Can you guys see? I'm not sure I'm spotlighted, so I can see every one of you more or less right now. So for me, this helps me a lot to be able to connect with you and to let you know what's up. So you can do the gallery. You can do the gallery stuff. It's on your icon, the gallery view, so that you can see the people you're talking to. If you want to see them, or if they want to see them, just let them chat you up. Go to the chat room right now and say, it's okay, it's all right, it's good, it's good, it's going to be great, it's going to be great. Go to the chat and say, we are together, we are still together, we're still together. So all those things are very good tips so that you can go on with the people and then get a lot out of it. Now, before we go to the next question, there's a next question. Let me say
Yes.
that tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow for the men tomorrow. Check my Instagram. I'm going to be with the men at this present house tomorrow and Saturday in the morning. So you can join in and then at least be motivating me and cheering me up. And then on Saturday, we're having our morning series. We're having the CEO of Landway. The CEO of Landway. It's a young guy who's done so well for himself when it comes to the real estate industry. He's done so well for himself in the real estate industry. So Wale Ayilara will be with us on Saturday. And you don't want to miss that. 7 p.m. on Saturday. Young guy. From nowhere, somewhere in the Bermuda, not in Lagos. God has really helped him and promoted him. And he's doing very well, very, very well when it comes to the real estate market. So, guys, we need to be here on Saturday, 7 p.m. and let us have a conversation with Ayilara. And guess what we're talking about? Money matters. Money matters. That's what we're talking about on Saturday. Just say over to you.
Yes, and the second question from the group chat says, how do you, okay, sorry, just before we go on to the next question, the person who is asking about a great presentation on Zoom, I'll just give my own 52 cents. So you need to ensure that in everything you prepare, find the lens of your camera, whatever device you're using, because I'm speaking with everybody now. I am just not looking at myself from the screen. I have to focus on the lens of my camera on my laptop. The moment I start to look at myself, which is this way, it's just too poor. That is no longer presentation. So that's my 2 cents to you. So the second question from the chat is from Sam. It says, how do you discover your message as a speaker and also gain clarity on your purpose?
Well, that's a 4 years course in the School of Public Speaking, more or less. I mean, now, the first thing is that what's your passion for life? What's that thing that aches your heart? What's that thing that makes you wake up? What's that thing that you always look out for? What is that thing that you want to correct? What is that thing that you want to, whenever they are talking about that subject, it's very interesting to you. When you pick up a book, when you go to the study, when you go to the library, when you go to the bookshop, what kind of book are you drawn towards? Those are all indicators. I mean, pointers to what could be your topic or your subject matter. But that is the starting point. I don't want anybody to be labeled with a particular subject. You should be able to be dynamic and diversified. You can talk on different things at different times. You need a particular topic to get to limelight. But when you get to that limelight, you don't box yourself into a particular topic. Somebody will ask me, Nani, what topic do you speak about? I say, no, it depends on what you want. It depends on what you need. It depends on your need. Bring your need and find the solution to it. I tell people, I don't have product, I have solutions. I don't have product, I have solutions. So, but the starting point for you is that you, look at the things that pulls you towards them. What are the people that you like to listen to? What are the kind of topics that you like to? I'm not talking about standardizing words and all those rhetorics that get everybody excited, but at the end of the day, leaves them the way they have after 2-3 months. And I'm not talking about that. This is something that your heart yearns after, pants after. You want to read it, you want to know it, you want to increase your capacity in it. I don't know whether I've shared this story before. When I was about to leave the pastorate, Daystar Christian Center, I wanted to do some other things, but my pastor I mentor then called my attention to the fact that I'm supposed to be training. He said practically that you're supposed to be doing what John Maxwell is doing in America and Nigeria, but I didn't even listen to it. So I got back home, and then I had some guys who were staying with me at home. I told them that, can you imagine what they're saying? I should be teaching leadership. Who wants to teach leadership? And then one of them told me that, sir, have you noticed that 40% of the book in your library are on leadership? I didn't even pay attention to that. I don't even know. And when it was done, in the middle of the night, I Nicodemously went in there, in the middle of the night, went into the library, and lo and behold, I realized that I have almost half of the book of my library is on leadership. So there's something called a deep calling onto the deep. Deep calling onto the deep. Without knowing, I was drawn towards the subject leadership. I was buying books on leadership. I was trying to know more on leadership without me even knowing. And sometimes the people around you also can be a pointer to the kind of thing that you're supposed to be talking about. Sometimes you're talking off key or off point in some subject that you think you're supposed to be talking about. The criteria, and we don't feel you want to talk about that. These are the things that you can do. So, like I said, it's a long journey. So, probably one of these days we'll talk about gaining clarity for leadership. So, at that point, if we get to that point, we will be able to put you on that journey. But I think these few things I've said now can help you to some extent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for that response. I'm sure it's been helpful to the person who asked. We have one question here. This person says, is it good, okay, for a presentation, is it good to present what someone else has presented before and just change a few things?
Well, it's good. It's a good place to start, but there's something called originality. It's always good you come in from. There's nothing you teach that is 100% new. Sometimes you get 1 or 2 points from other people, but you want it to have your own flavor. Every speaker must be repetophobic. In other words, you should be careful about even repeating yourself. I mean, repeating yourself yesterday, not to talk of repeating someone else. But there is nothing that you're going to say that is new. You glean from this, glean from that, glean from this. But everything should have your DNA. There should be a particular way that you deliver that is different from what every other person will deliver. So originality is absolutely important, but there is no 100% originality. Somebody's reading from a book. Somebody's reading from, from a conference, learning from a conference here, a statement here that they could tweak it here and there, but if you're very smart, you know, okay, this is the student, this guy is the student of this person, or this guy read this person's book before he came here to talk about it. So originality is good, but can't be 100% originality. Yep. So
Thank
I
you
think
so much,
at this
sir.
point also, let me also mention on Sunday, for those of us, that's why you guys need to get into the community. You need to get into the community quickly. We're having somebody, some couple mentioned it before. They come and tell us on how to stay healthy in this crisis period. Many of us, our energy level is down. Many of us, we are mentally caged. Mental health issues and everything. How do we will eat the right food? Make sure that our body is sound, because you know what? Your body is the vehicle that will take you to your destination. You can't afford to knock it. If it gets knocked down, you can't get to your destination. And then once you lose your health, every other thing is on standstill. Every other thing is on standstill. That's why you need to put your health in place. You need to put your body in place. You need to put your energy in place. So on Sunday, we'll be having Oge and Tomiwa that will be taking us on that journey. But it is not a free class. It is only for the people in the business community, business professional community. So they will share the link with you and then get there and then join. And then for those of us who want to be with us in a hotel, why not? Come around. Let's have a retreat together. We're having Dr. Christopher Colade, Professor Pat Tommy, Pastor Bola Achibewa of Pastor Bola Akinlabi of Elevation Church Lagos. You know what I mean? And my very humble self, Leah, this is how it is. And then the most important thing in that retreat is that we'll be having young multi-billionaires in the round table. Ideas will be crisscrossing ideas. I mean, thinking about things, brainstorming together, opening up a lot of opportunities that you can invest your money into, opening up a lot of opportunity business that you can do. And I tell you, it's going to be a very robust discussion. Guess what? People, the CEOs are not just coming. The people who are group CEOs are already registering their, MDs, to make sure that they are in that class, because they know that after that class, things are going to be really different. We had one in Dubai in March, and it was mind-blowing in Dubai. Every one of us that came back from Dubai, we're smiling right now. And I believe that you can join us in this smiling and laughing encounter by coming 9th and 10th of October, the Hotel, Nigeria, Lagos. If you're abroad and you want to join us, we have bought the Zoom. We have bought the Zoom lens that we can Zoom it to you. And it's $500 for you to make us Zoom it to you. And then you part of it. The only thing that will be missing, that you will not enjoy, is that you will not be able to eat the food that we are eating. But every other thing you will enjoy. So $500 to be part of it anywhere in the world. But if you're coming live, which I encourage you to, if you can afford it, is to get in there. Remember, you're building businesses that can last 50 to 100 years. That's our goal. That's our target. So that's why we're dealing with the else of the organization. Once you fix the else, you can always be guaranteed that the company will keep growing. People focus on the growth, but they forget the else. We take care of the else, and then the growth will take care of itself. So guys, October 9 and 10. But don't wait till October 9 and 10. In the next 1 week, quickly call the number and book your seat, because we're going to make reservation for a room. Nobody's going anywhere. We're going to sleep in the same hotel, eat the same food, and have a nice time together, brainstorming on the wonderful ideas that can turn your organization around. But before that, Saturday, Ayilara Saturday, Wale Ayilara on Saturday. Don't forget, CEO Landry coming to tell us how he was able to turn his fortune around within a short time. I tell you, that guy is doing great things. And then on Sunday, for those of us who are in the business community, we're going to have a good time. Okay, before we go on, sorry, I'll give it back to you to say, there is this song, people are already leaving, there's this song that we now only sing, our song for the month.
Theme song
for the month. Theme song for the month is Hall of Fame. Am I right? Hall of Fame. So while they're trying to get that together, Tosi, any final word?
So I was going to ask you for your final shot.
I think my final shot will be the song. My final shot will be the song. I'm going to take the song together. And then when I dance to Mercy Tune.
Exactly.
I have a living God, in my body. You. Are we ready? Are we ready? Where's Michael there? Okay, guys. It's been a wonderful time. It's been a great time together. We're waiting for the music to come on. But while we're waiting for the music to go on, don't forget tomorrow I'll be at Dubs President's house. You can join us. The link is on my chat room. Sorry, the link is on my Instagram page. You can join us, register. And also don't forget that on Saturday we'll be having Wale Ayilara with us. And on Sunday we'll have Oge and Tomiwa taking us on the business professional community. You need to be there. You must be there. It is compulsory that you're there for you to get the best of what NIE Adesanya has got to offer. Now the price came down from 200,000 naira to 50,000 naira. It's not just for a program. The 50,000 naira gets you there for let's say 75 days. 75 days now. You're there for 75 days. Whatever we have to offer in the 75 days, you will enjoy it, and then you'll be glad you're part of that. Good. So join us on Sunday, but you must register to be part of that quickly. Good. Now we're ready. All of Fame. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw Nancy Alika. If it's the same Alika, thank you, Nancy, for joining us. Good. Now it's time for us to dance and then call it a day. So, are you ready? This is the time for you to switch on your video. I know you are trying to conserve data, but it's just about 5 minutes. Let us use the data a little bit together and let us do some dancing together. I beg you, just a little bit. Just spend that 200 naira on me by dancing with me. Yeah? I beg. Let's see some dancing here.